All children deserve parents, but not all parents deserve children. You don't remember every toy you had as a child, or every meal you ate, but somehow you remember certain sentences, word for word, the tone, the moment, the feeling in your chest when you heard them. Because words from parents don't just pass through, they settle inside, and sometimes they stay there for years. Not all toxic parenting looks like shouting or punishment. Sometimes it sounds normal, even casual. But the impact? Well, it quietly shapes how a child sees themselves and the world. You might think words are harmless, but how would you feel if I told you that a 2024 report by UNICEF found that nearly 400 million young children worldwide are regularly exposed to shouting, humiliation, or verbal punishment at home? And in 2023, researchers from University College London analyzed the long-term impact of childhood verbal abuse, finding it strongly linked to adult mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and even self-destructive behavior, sometimes at levels equal to or higher than physical abuse. Because when it comes from a parent, it doesn't feel like just words. It becomes identity. Because words don't leave bruises, but they leave beliefs. So how do you recognize it? Well, here are 9 toxic things parents say to their children that can leave marks long after childhood ends. Number 1, offensive words about appearance. You're so ugly. Why are you gaining so much weight? Look at your face. What happened to you? No one will like you if you look like this. You're too short. Or you've ugly hair. At first, these may sound like comments or jokes. I mean, to an adult, they might even seem harmless, but to a child, they become a mirror. Studies on body image development show that parental criticism is one of the strongest predictors of body dissatisfaction in children, especially during early adolescence. Over time, this can lead to chronic insecurity, obsessive comparison with others, anxiety around appearance, and in severe cases, eating disorders or body dysmorphia. Instead of learning self-acceptance, the child learns self-rejection. Number 2, provocative questions about behavior. Why do you act so weird? What's wrong with you? Why can't you be normal? Why do you talk like that? Why do you chew that way? Move or walk that way? And you talk too much. Learn how to shut your mouth. These questions don't actually seek answers. They don't. They create doubt. According to child psychology research, repeated shaming of natural behavior can lead to social anxiety and self-monitoring tendencies, where the child constantly watches themselves to avoid embarrassment. As they grow up, this often turns into overthinking every action, fear of being judged, difficulty expressing their true personality, and feeling like they have to perform to be accepted. They stop being themselves because they were taught that being themselves is wrong. Number 3, selfish or regretful statements. I wish you were never born. You ruined my life. I regret having you. You were a mistake. Or I wish I had an abortion. These aren't just hurtful. Honestly, they are identity-shattering. Psychological studies link such rejection-based language to deep-rooted feelings of unworthiness and abandonment trauma. A child hearing this doesn't think, my parent is angry. They think, I shouldn't exist. Long-term, this can lead to depression and low self-worth, self-destructive thoughts or behaviors, difficulty forming a stable identity, and feeling undeserving of love or happiness. Because when your existence feels like a mistake, everything else becomes hard to believe. Number 4, making the child feel like a burden. You're too much. I'm exhausted because of you. You cost me everything. Or my life would be easier without you. These statements place emotional weight on a child that they were never meant to carry. Research in family psychology shows that children who feel like a burden often develop people-pleasing behaviors and emotional suppression. They grow up hiding their needs, apologizing for things that aren't their fault, struggling to ask for help, and feeling guilty just for existing. They learn to take up less space, like even when they deserve more. Number 5, constant comparisons. Why can't you be like your sister? Look at other kids, they're better than you. Your cousin is more successful, or you're not trying hard enough. Comparison might seem like motivation, but in reality, psychologically, it creates chronic inadequacy. Studies show that frequent comparison in childhood is linked to low self-esteem, jealousy and sibling rivalry, perfectionism or complete lack of motivation, and constant need for external validation. The child stops focusing on growth and starts chasing approval, and no matter how far they go, they still feel behind. Number 6, verbal labels and insults. You're stupid. You're useless. You're lazy. You'll never achieve anything. You're a loser, or you'll never make it. Labels are powerful because they become identity. According to cognitive psychology, children form their core self-beliefs based on repeated messages from authority figures. So instead of thinking, I made a mistake, they start believing, I am the mistake. This can lead to fear of trying new things, giving up easily, low confidence in abilities, and self-sabotage in adulthood, because deep down, they kind of already believe failure is who they are.
Number 7, threats of abandonment. I'll leave you. I'll send you away. One day you'll be on your own. Or you'll wake up and never find me. I'll just disappear. Even if said in anger, to a child, it feels real. Attachment theory explains that children rely on caregivers for emotional security. When that feels unstable, it creates anxious or avoidant attachment styles. Later in life, this shows up as fear of people leaving, clinginess or emotional distance, trust issues in relationships, and constant anxiety in close connections, because love to them never felt guaranteed. Number 8, empty promises. I promise I'll come. I'll buy it for you next time. We'll go, don't worry. Or, if you do this, I will get you this. And then, it doesn't happen. Once might disappoint, sure, but repeated broken promises, they reshape trust. Research shows that inconsistent parenting can lead to insecurity and difficulty trusting others later in life. The child learns words don't mean much, people don't always follow through, and hope often leads to disappointment. And as adults, they may struggle to rely on anyone fully. Number 9, dismissing the child's feelings. You're overreacting. It's not a big deal. Stop being so dramatic. You have no reason to feel this way. You're only crying because you want attention. Or you're too young to be depressed. At first, this may sound like an attempt to calm the child down, but actually what it actually does is invalidate their emotional experience. According to emotional development research, children learn how to understand and regulate their feelings through validation and guidance, not dismissal. When their emotions are constantly minimized, they begin to believe their feelings are wrong, their reactions are too much. They shouldn't trust their own emotions. Over time, this can lead to emotional suppression, difficulty identifying or expressing feelings, bottled up stress that later turns into anxiety or anger, and feeling misunderstood in relationships. Because when a child is told their feelings don't matter, they eventually stop sharing them altogether. Here's the truth most people don't talk about. Parents don't have to be perfect, but their words matter more than they realize. Because a child's inner voice is often built from the voices they heard growing up. So if you've ever caught yourself repeating these phrases, look, it's not about guilt, it's about awareness. And if you were the child who heard them, just know this: those words were spoken to you, but they were never the truth about you. Which one of these hit you the hardest? Or was there something you heard growing up that you still remember today? Drop it in the comments. You're not the only one.